All right, let's get started. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. My name is Jen, and I am a Customer Success Manager here at Growbots. Feel free to ask questions as we go. Use the Q&A feature in the webinar to ask your questions. If I miss any questions as we go, I'll make sure to leave some time at the end so that we don't miss anyone. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. Now, if this dashboard does not look familiar to you or you were shown a different application on your demo, you are using our 2.0 app, whereas this is our 3.0 app. If that is the case, you can watch a recorded webinar of the 2.0 app on the same page you used to sign up for the webinar, right here. If you scroll down, here's that recorded webinar. Everyone will be transferred to the 3.0 app in the coming months, so if you'd like to stay and listen, you're welcome to do so. So let's jump back to the 3.0 app. This screen is your dashboard. You can see the number of total credits in the top left here. Below, you can see the scheduled messages that are going out in your running campaigns. And at the very bottom, you will see your best template and your best campaign. Keep in mind, a template is one email in your whole email sequence that you can send to customers. A campaign is a sequence, so again, that whole email thread that you have sent to your prospects. You can search for specific prospects in the search up top, or you can click on all prospects and take a deep dive into what's happening. We will circle back on the screen at the end of the webinar, but this is where you can go to see what's in progress, what campaigns have finished, who best to target for recycling campaigns, and more. Be sure to click on more features, or excuse me, more filters, so you can see those specific options. In the bottom right-hand side of every screen, there will be a blue circle that you can click to open up a chat with our customer success team or find the help articles for any assistance. Because I'm an admin account, we do not see that right now, but feel free to chat us at any time for any questions. Now that we've gone over the two main screens, let's set up your account. To set up your account, click Settings in the bottom left-hand side. Under your account, you will see your user account and password. You can edit this information by clicking the gray pencil icon in the corner. Below this information, we have inbox settings. Here you can configure if you would like Growbots to automatically reschedule your campaign if it's met with a prospect's out of office message. For example, if you send an email and a person has the out of office message up until next Tuesday, Growbots will automatically reschedule the campaign for a day after that next Tuesday, so it'd go out next Wednesday. If the out of message does not have a valid date format, such as I'll be back next week, Growbots might not recognize this to reschedule, but it will pause the campaign for you to manually continue later. Folder management will organize your inbox so that out of office messages, bounced emails, and negative messages will be placed in separate folders so your inbox is less cluttered. Be sure to check these folders regularly, as sometimes negative replies could be more positive than our AI detected. Under organization, we have the ability to add other users to your team. Just fill in first name, last name, email, select the account type, and hit add. New users will get an email with an invite to join the team. We also have more settings below, like adding the ability to turn on or off click tracking. So if you add links to your email messages, you can turn this on and it will track if someone has clicked on that link. We also have the option to turn on or off the ability of tracking open messages. So again, when someone opens that email, or the ability to turn on or off the flag that lets us know that you want to become a beta tester. Next, we have the integrations tab. This is very important as this is where you will add the email account you wish to send from. You can add as many email accounts as you wish. Connect your email account by choosing your email host. We are looking to add the ability to directly connect through Yahoo and Outlook, but for now, please use either Gmail or SMTP IMAP connection. If you're not sure how to connect your email channel, We have a help article on the most common ports for SMTP, or you can simply chat us for assistance. Within Growbots, you have the ability to split campaigns between email accounts. For example, half the campaign is sent from my email and half is sent from my coworker's email. So be sure to add more email channels if you can. Also within Growbots, you can set up a signature for each email channel, and that signature can be pulled in automatically with our new custom sender fields. Remember, your email host will have a daily email limit for your account. With Gmail, we see about 200 is a common limit, where Outlook is more along the lines of 500. Please check with your provider for that limit. Growbots helps you stay under that limit by having the ability to cap your daily send. Hit edit after you've connected your email channel to set that daily limit right here. Also be sure to fill out the first name, last name, company, as this is where that information is pulled for that signature. You also have the ability to add your social networks if you desire. Simply hit next step and save, and then it will save. Right below that, we have the option to connect to a CRM. So if you use Salesforce and you have API enabled, go ahead and connect to Salesforce. You will have to be the admin of your Salesforce account to connect. If you don't have Salesforce and use another CRM, you can add a BCC link here. Just be mindful that the prospects generated in Growbots have to be in your CRM, so you can easily download those prospects information, upload it into your CRM, then add that BCC link, and all of your activities will be logged to your CRM. If you don't want to use the BCC link or you don't utilize Salesforce, but you'd like to exclude certain companies from being generated in Growbots, go ahead and hit the Exclusions tab, and you can upload a CSV file of a company list, and then everybody from that company will not be generated within Growbots. You can also let us know if you don't want to exclude everyone from the company and just specific people. We can help you import those people's information into a different campaign, and that way these specific email addresses won't be generated in any other campaign because they're in that imported campaign that you did. Now that we've covered the basics of the account, let's look at how to set up a campaign. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to hit campaign. You can see my previous campaigns below, but to create a new campaign, just hit add new campaign. And this will prompt you to choose a strategy for your campaign. You can generate prospects and email them through Growbots. You can generate prospects and export them, or you can import your own prospects and email them through Growbots. If you're importing or exporting, you will skip a few steps we'll go over today. Today we'll be covering how to generate leads and email them through Growbots, as this covers all steps. So the first step is just to name your campaign something meaningful. So today I'll just name it Growbots Training, but many people name it something specific, like if you're targeting a specific area or going after someone with a specific job title. Next, I'll choose my strategy. So again, choosing start lead generation and emailing through Growbots. And at the top here, you're going to see that Growbots walks you through step by step what you need to do. Right now, we're looking at what companies we want to target. Next, we'll look at the specific people that we want to target within those companies. We'll then schedule the messagings that goes with them. Then we'll pick the specific people that we want to send to, because right now companies and people are just creating a pool that we can then pick and choose who to pick from in the prospect section. Then we'll choose what email account we want to send from, and then of course we'll preview our message before it goes out, and then we'll schedule when it will actually go out. All right, so diving into looking for companies, there's two ways we can do it. We can look for a detailed criteria, or we can look for specific companies. If I go ahead and hit specific companies, we'll just type in a company name like Progressive, and you'll see on the right-hand side, our results will update. So I'm looking for Progressive Insurance, and you can see that we have a lot more companies than Progressive Insurance. So if I get rid of Progressive and type in the domain name progressive.com, you can see I have a much more targeted search. So be sure to add the domain name instead of just the name if you're looking for specific companies. Next, I have company location. So Progressive might have a few headquarters, but maybe I only want to target the people that are in Ohio. Give it a moment to update and just hit Ohio, and then again on the right-hand side, your company list will update. Moving to the detailed criteria, if you don't want to search for specific companies, you are prompted what industry you'd like to have. So here you can leave it blank if you want to, if it's a wider industry, but let's go under computer networking. Again, you'll see on the right the list of companies updating. Next, just like the other step, you can choose a specific location. Very good for face-to-face meetings or if you only operate in a specific location. You can choose company size or company revenue. So just use this slider and maybe let's say, let's look for small, medium, and large companies. Technology is specific to the company website or something that they use in tandem with their website. So maybe they use Salesforce or another CRM or another specific technology. So the best way to check if we have this criteria is just to type in the technology you're looking for, so maybe Squarespace, and then you can see exactly which criteria information we have. We also have versions of Magento, for example. If you want all versions in your search, just go ahead and hit the base of that word. I'll leave it blank for now. PageRank is the Alexa ranking. So #1 would be the most trafficked website on the internet. As the ranking gets higher, the traffic to that website is lower and lower. So this would be great if you're targeting for raising someone's SEO or trying to up their marketing game. Company keywords are secondary keywords that describe the company. So if I was, for example, again, looking for insurance companies, but I only wanted to look for automotive insurance, I could choose the vertical insurance up top and then put automotive insurance down here. So we'll just keep it general for today, for example, and we'll hit next step. Next, we're going to look at the specific people who work within these companies. I can look for someone by a specific job position. So this would be great if someone had a unique title. Maybe they're called happiness heroes instead of support people, something like that. Or you could be more broad and choose a seniority level and a department. So maybe I only want to contact the VP and C level of marketing and sales. Again, on the right-hand side, your list will update. So always be mindful to be checking that right-hand side to see if you're on target. Prospect keywords, just like company words or company keywords, are your secondary keywords for your prospects. So maybe I want someone with payroll experience, or someone who has experience with cloud computing or JavaScript. Just again, those secondary keywords that help you narrow your targeting. The last item we have is max prospects per company. So if you're targeting very small companies, we suggest using this because then you're not hitting everybody within that company. With this on, it will generate no more than, let's say, 3 prospects from a single company. When getting started, I suggest leaving this off again, but if you're targeting a very small company, it might be good to start with it on. In the next step, it's going to prompt me, what messaging do I want to send to these people? Now, I know we haven't covered the how to build that messaging in the webinar, but we'll do that right after we send out this campaign. For now, I'll just hit my first message, just for an example. Clearly, this is just an example. It just says your shop needs more flowers, but you can add a variant to this. So maybe we have my hello template. So I would choose this template and save it. And because I have two first initial emails, the campaign will be broken up into 50% will receive my first message and 50% will receive the hello template, my second message. I can add follow-up messages here. So if I didn't want to just send one email, I could add more messages here. Highly recommend that you add follow-up messages as you'll get more responses when you're in front of the customer more often. You can toggle them on and off. So after I have my campaign, obviously the first message was not good. So maybe I would toggle that off and you can see one inactive. And maybe I could test my hello template with another initial email. And then from there, see which one's working and which one's not, and iterate and repeat and make sure my campaigns are always great. So in this step, I'll just choose this for an example. And next we'll look at the specific people from that pool that we've generated before. So you can do some bulk actions here at the top. You can select all 50 or custom here. By default, Growbots will generate 50 prospects, but you can say I want to generate 5 more and they'll be added to the list here. You can also look at the specific people or the specific companies that have been generated. You can accept, reject, or blacklist companies or prospects individually. So if I wanted to accept this whole company, I would just easily hit this green button. If I wanted to reject them from this project, maybe they're good for another project, but not this specific one, I would hit reject. If I wanted to blacklist the whole company, which means this company will never be generated in Growbots again, maybe they're a competitor or they're already a customer of mine, I would hit blacklist. So again, same thing with prospects. You can accept, reject, or blacklist. You can easily go to their website through this little link here, or do a quick Google search through this G here. If you want more information about this prospect, go ahead and click on the name. You can see the name has moved over to the left here. The status is new because we haven't accepted or rejected them. Those quick links move down here, and then we have this information. We have personal and company information. If you want to make any edits to the personal or company information before you accept them, you can, and that edit will carry through your Growbots account. So this screen is neat because you can accept, and once you accept or reject someone, it will move on to the next person. So you don't have to keep clicking into the name to see the details. So once you've gone through the list, accepted or rejected them, be sure that you fill out any custom fields that came over from your sequence. So in your email messaging, if you used any custom fields that you added yourself, you can easily add that custom field to your prospect, so it's tied to that prospect's account within Growbots. Again, if you want to make any edits, maybe to the last name or company name, remove that LTD, LLC, things like that, do it all in one step here on this screen. Once you've accepted as many as you'd like, you can go to the accepted screen. You can choose all, and then you can say schedule the 2 messages that you want to send to these people. The next step will prompt you as what email account do you want to send your messaging from. Since I only have one account set up with Growbots, I would go ahead and hit my account. You can see I can set that max emails per day again here if I wanted to change it for any reason. It will prompt me back on that screen to edit globally, and then again, just save it there. Now, if I had 2 email accounts, the other email account, or as many as they are, would be listed on the left-hand side, and I could easily choose how many accounts I wanted to send this campaign from. Next, I would pick my start date. So since these are actual people, I'm just gonna put the start year to 2020 so I don't accidentally send someone an email today. I can have the option to send the first message immediately to kick off that campaign, or just use the scheduling that I set up within my sequence. So you can see the timeline here of how many emails I have going out. So I can easily pick the day that it will go out without exceeding my limit. If you do exceed your limit, Growbots will automatically reschedule your emails so you don't exceed your limit. I'll hit the next step and I'll see a preview of my message. I can also click through the prospect's name on the left to make sure that all the custom fields are coming through as needed. Finally, I just hit launch campaign. All right, so once you launch, your campaign has been created. You can hit show details and it will take you back to the campaign, but now we're looking at the details of that specific campaign. So as we scroll down, we can see the status is scheduled because again, we're gonna send that out in 2020. Nobody has seen it or clicked it. Stage is if I qualify or unqualify this lead. The last activity was a few seconds ago since we just launched it. And from here, I can qualify or unqualify this person, or I can take a few actions. So maybe if they responded and said, my email isn't correct, or you got the first name wrong, or this person doesn't work here anymore, you can mark it wrong email and just let your customer success manager know that that happened. You can also delete a prospect within Growbots, but be mindful that all communication with this prospect is removed permanently and they will be able to be generated elsewhere within Growbots. You can pause the campaign. You can also resume the campaign, which will just continue it if you pause it, or you can reschedule the campaign for a later time if you paused it. And of course, you can transfer this person to another campaign if you want to do a recycling campaign after, let's say, they didn't respond to my first message. Again, click more filters up here so you can look at the specific ways you can look at this data. So status, you can look at how many people have replied, how many are scheduled, so on and so forth. You can look at the amount of bounced emails and just remember that any bounced email will give you a credit back to your Growbots account. You can look at how many people have clicked or seen, the past activity or next activity, what email account sent out these messages, what step they're in, so maybe it's in progress, it was paused or stopped, and then what email step is it on? Is it on my first email, or maybe my first follow-up, second follow-up, or third follow-up? That way you can see how each email is performing, or easily reschedule if you wanted to update your fourth follow-up and you wanted to make sure everyone on the third follow-up was paused before updating it. Stage, again, is qualified or unqualified or wrong email. And then source will be, was it generated through Growbots or was it imported from somewhere else? At the top here, you'll see the timeline of this specific campaign. And then at the very, very top, we'll see the sequence, the prospecting, and your target audience that we've already set up within this campaign. So after you set up a campaign, every information about that campaign can be found under campaigns when you just click into this specific campaign. You can also see from a high level on the campaign screen how each campaign is functioning. And we have a question, what are the email limits again? So we see within Growbots that Gmail has about a 200 email limit per day, where Outlook has more of a 500 email limit per day. It's best to check with your provider because certain plans have different limits. You can also ask your customer success manager, what have they seen common through Growbots. All right. So we walked through getting started, your account, how to set up and send a campaign. Next, we'll look at messaging. So under the messaging section on the left-hand side, again, you can see the messages that I've created before, the type of messages. So this one is a follow-up message. It's a simple, did you get my email question, where this is the initial email. So again, more of a hello template. introducing you and your service and what you're bringing to the table. So with these different types of emails, we can make a email thread or a sequence and then send out that sequence through Growbots. So to create a template, I can go ahead and add a template here. And also be mindful that we can look at this screen in a different way in a tile view. The tile view will give you a preview of your actual email, and I find it a little bit more helpful as we get along and you have more and more emails in your system. But again, add a new template right here. So we'll walk through how to add a new template. So name it something meaningful, maybe first initial email or general hello template, or if it's very targeted to a specific industry, you can say targeted to automotive or something like that. Next, you would pick the type of email. So again, is this the first email that you're sending in your sequence, or are you creating a follow-up email? If it's the first email, you'll be prompted for when this should be scheduled for. Because Growbots will optimize the timing, you simply just have to pick a time range that's 2 hours in between, and it will send any time in between those 2 hours. So go ahead, pick a time, and then you'll pick a day. We see that emails get the most responses between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But you could do Monday to Friday as well. We receive replies for that. Saturday and Sunday should not be checked unless your prospect is working on Saturday or Sunday. But be mindful also, CEOs like to check Sunday nights their email to make sure that they know what's happening on Monday. If you're not sure the exact time to send your email, go ahead and check out our Growbots optimizer, which you can choose the position or industry, and we will tell you in the graph below when's the best time to send that email. So again, that's growbots.com/best time to send email, and it will give you this optimizer. All right, so the from field should be your name. It shouldn't be your company. And if you work with a team, be mindful to use our custom fields. It makes it so much easier. So we have sender custom fields. So we could say sender first name and sender last name. So that will pull in my full name when it sends. And then we'll be prompted for the subject line. So we could use the prospect's first name, a little X, and then my company, so sender company. So this would pull in maybe Bill, X, and then sender company would be Growbots. Your subject line should be very short, and we see this type of subject line return a much higher open rate than pretty much any other subject line. In our knowledge base articles, we have best tips on subject lines, how to write killer outbound emails, and how to use our custom fields. Because this is initial email, this will be a new email thread. If I hit follow up, I can then pick if it should be a follow-up in a new email thread or in a previous thread. Also be mindful that follow-ups have the other option of sending after a few days of the initial email. The timing will always look at when the previous email was sent. So let's hop back to initial. So then we can compose our message just like any other email. We could say hello first name, and then tell this person of the benefits we are offering. The first the first sentence of your body should be intriguing. It should make them want to open the email. Most first sentences will be a preview within the recipient's inbox. So be sure that it's meaningful and not something like, hi, my name is Jen. I'm a customer success here at Growbots. Let me tell you about Growbots and how great it is. You really want to grab their attention. And then the body of the email will focus on benefits over features. So the first email especially is, again, grabbing that person's attention and not really selling them. You just want them to get on the phone with you so that you can sell them on the phone. So be sure to mention the benefits of your company. You can bold, you can have a bulleted list. Make sure it's only about 3 or 4 bullets long. And it should be pretty short, so maybe about less than 400 characters. Then have a signature. And again, you can pull in your sender custom fields. So in my signature, I can say my first name, I can say my last name, and then I could put my company right below it. Once you've created your email, you can go ahead and save. I also just want to point out these options at the bottom. You can add a link to a website, normal editing features such as bolded lists, bold and italicize. You can insert an image, but the image does have to be hosted. That way we guarantee that it actually goes through and lands in your prospect's inbox. So go ahead, host the image and paste the URL here. You can use something as simple as postimage.org, upload that image, and then paste in that URL. So again, once you're done with your template, go ahead and save. And then it will just have a confirmation. And you can view your edited template here, or go back and clone if you want to make any simple edits. So this would be good to clone if you wanted to A/B test a specific email template with a few changes. Maybe you reworded the first sentence, or maybe you showed different benefits, and that way you can test which benefits get more of a response. All right, so once you've created a few templates for follow-ups and initial emails, you then have to create your sequence. So under sequences at the top, you can see all the sequences that I've made. And to make a new one, you just hit add new sequence. Again, give it a name, and then you'll just add your messages. So I can add this message by just clicking on it, choosing and saving it to my sequence. I can add a variant, so this would be the B version to my first email. So maybe I want this one. And then I would choose my follow-up messages. So this is a longer follow-up. I want a shorter follow-up to follow my first message. So something simple as, have you received my messages? So I'll go ahead and choose this one. And then my second follow-up can be something longer, something putting the benefits or putting some social proof in with my messaging. So once I've created my sequence, I can then save and use it within my campaign. In the sequence table, we can see which one is active, never used, or inactive, where it's being used, what step it's on when it's being used, how many prospects have received this message, and then the data around how well it's performing. I can clone a specific sequence or delete it if it's never been used. We have a question, can we embed videos? We currently cannot embed videos, but you can simply just link them within that specific template. All right, so going back to our dashboard, once you send out your campaign, again, we'll see what's doing the best on your dashboard under your best campaign. And then under all prospects, we can then hit more filters and cut this data however we would like. So this is a global view of every prospect within your Growbots account. If they're imported or generated, it does not matter. And if you ever have to export your prospects, this is the best screen to do it. You can select all, or again, have a default number, or, type in your own number and confirm, and then hit export up top. You can also take group actions just like we did in the other campaign of wrong email, delete, and so on and so forth. So that's basically it. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at customers@growbots.com or reach out to your dedicated customer success manager.